yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else. Nobody else is gonna have more people trying to tear you down and build you up. Always believe in yourself. You're the only one who can make things happen for yourself. Don't let nobody else try to make things happen for you. You that person gonna make it happen. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming out to our inaugural End Zone Youth Leadership Series, where our goal is to push the kids from potential to purpose. Now, when I got ready to make this happen, I knew that I could not start without getting in contact with my good friend, Eric Matthews. Eric and I, we've done several things several years straight, but I couldn't start without giving one of my most loyal, faithful, hardworking brothers that I work with, shot to really break this open. So without any further ado, I want to make sure that he's properly represented. So Eric, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Matthews. I'm a former Green Bay Packers NFL player. I have a Super Bowl ring with the Packers that I received in my rookie year. I'm an Indiana alumni. I'm a Florida boy, born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida. Went to San Luis High School where I competed in basketball, football, track, and played baseball.
I was kind of hoping you threw in there that you were a grill master as well, but we
Hey,
gotta find that out.
that's my second now. What I'm doing now, as I'm retired, I'm a grill master. I love getting out on the grill, especially during the spring and summer when the weather's.
Right.
I love getting outside. We just moved in the country, and now I guess everybody's seeing I'm doing a lot of building now. My wife got this honey-do list where I'm doing a lot of building.
Honestly, Eric, I'm a carpenter by trade, and I've been peeping you out on Instagram. I said, wait a minute, I didn't know he could do all of that.
Oh,
How did you learn? How did you learn how to become such a well-rounded individual? What went into that?
well, I would say it started from my grandfather. When I spent my summer with my grandfather, he spent a lot of time outside building things and stuff like that. And my background in the college was I wanted to go to school as an architecture, but art is my background. I love to draw. I love to design, and I'm not scared to use my hand. Like I said, I grew up with my granddad. My mom did a lot of building, so I don't have a problem with putting things together. I actually go to sleep and think about what I want to do, and I'll wake up the next morning and put it together. I don't use a lot of floor plan. I just have it in my mind what I want to do, but that's that designer background in me.
Now that I hear you talk about your grandfather and such lights, I want to streamline it. Before I even get to your career, I want to talk about Eric the man. Now, you're talking about mentorship from your grandfather. Is that kind of like what has got you working with the youth now? Is that your foundation?
Yeah, I would say that, and my father too. Growing up, we grew up in a neighborhood where we're middle class, low class, and I learned that from my father. When we travel with sports and stuff, my dad would take the kids from my neighborhood who was on my team and stuff with meets because I ran outside of our team. So my dad would take some of the guys who was on my team with us to travel with us and things like that, and help them out because a lot of times they couldn't afford it. Like a couple of my friends, they lived with their grandparents, so he took them. So that's something that I learned from my parents, giving back and things like that. My parents always did stuff in the community, so that was my foundation of giving back with my parents.
Wow, it's just ironic. When I first met you, probably back in like 2014, I had just tried to make a football camp happen, and down in my hometown, something I was passionate about, similar scenario, low income area, wanted to bless the kids, give them something, beyond their experience, because I feel like with kids especially, if you can give them something that they've never seen, it'll open their minds and broaden their horizons. And it fell apart, it didn't happen, and just ironically, we were connected through a mutual acquaintance, and from there, boom. But I'm glad to hear like the inspiration behind your community work. Ultimately, though, with what you're doing with these young men, what are you hoping to spark in the kids?
What you just mentioned, being able to expose our youth, I believe in that. My parents, why I love going, I experienced a lot of stuff with my they took us every Friday. My mom would get us together, waiting on my dad to get off work, take us fishing every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer,
Mm-hmm.
travel. My parents took us on trips and things like that. I spent my summers in Georgia with my grandparents. So exposed to a lot as a young age. So I believe in, we talk about these bad kids. We don't have bad kids in our neighborhood. We have kids who don't have anything to do. If that's all they know, guess what? That's all they're going to do. So that's something that as a foundation, we want to be able to expose these kids, take them to the baseball, taking them fishing, expose them to football camp, expose them to people, to let them know it's somebody who looks just like you, who's been what you've done and doing great things. That's all it is that we try to do, just expose our youth to other things that's just going on in the neighborhood, because a lot of times it's nothing. You know, we did last 2 years ago where we took kids out to the park and just did a little build some birdhouses, and after that we played kickball. Don't you know a lot of them didn't know how to play kickball? You know, we playing kickball. That was something because we got outside. Urban areas, they don't have the field, they don't have the local, they don't have the grown-ups to take them out there and do that type of stuff. So that's what we try to fill in that gap.
Absolutely. You know, they say representation matters. I remember, 20 years old as a youth pastor in Birmingham. I remember I went into a place and a 50-year-old man said, "Hey, son, if you don't mind, if I can catch you one-on-one, will you show me how to tie a tie?" And, at first that was kind of like, wow, but, I didn't shame him for it, because the reality is there's a lot of men that didn't get things as boys, and it's like they suffer. So I wanted to applaud you first for who you are as a man and what you're doing in the community. However, I need to backtrack a little bit, because you started off talking about having won a Super Bowl, and you had to beat my team, the 49ers, to get that Super Bowl. Do you feel badly about that?
Oh, I really don't. And actually, that's the year before we got, because the year we won a Super Bowl, we beat New England.
Correct. But I think it was the NFC Conference, the championship game. I think you guys played us.
Have no pity or no kind of sorrow about that. I got my ring.
I was hoping you said you woke up every morning sad about that.
No, I didn't shed a tear about that. On the tear I shed with joy.
I hear you. But what's ironic about that team is you guys were loaded with some Reggie Whites, one of my favorite guys. Then we got Brett Favre, hometown hero. What was that experience like, playing with those kind of guys?
And like I tell a lot of people, football wasn't my first love. Track was.
Okay.
So for me, experience, I love football, don't get me wrong, but to me, to go to a team like that and learn from some of the greats, and actually just learn from just off the field type of thing. Like I say, that team was built from Mark Moore, Tony Freed, Leroy Butler, Dorsey Levens, Don Beebe, Gilbert Brown,
Big Gilbert.
Jim McMahon was on that team.
Really?
Third string quarterback behind Doug Peterson.
Wow.
Coaching right now, but that team was loaded. Craig Newsome, that team was crazy loaded.
Am I remembering this right? Did Andre Rison come through there at one point that season?
Rison, another one, part of that wide receiver core. Yeah.
That's now it's making my hair stand up just with goosebumps thinking about that. And you were in that. Let's talk about from a wide receiver standpoint. What are some things that you learned from that you're still teaching the receivers now?
And I think when I went in, I was still learning myself, and that's why I went to Green Bay, because they had a wide receiver core that was a solid wide receiver core, and then they brought in, like you said, Rison and Don Beebe, and those guys came in. But the type of thing those guys did that I talked to these kids about was hard work. That's something I really took from them, and I took fellowship. Tony Freeman pulled me in, man. Because I can say I went to some other teams after I left, and I didn't have that experience at other teams. Those guys were like brothers. And you would think at that level, once you get to that level, these guys making kind of money, ain't got time to be hanging out and talking to you. I actually can say it was a great group of guys that took me under their wing, wanted to teach me and say, "Hey, Rook, you're doing this wrong," or whatever. But that's something I try, tell the youngsters these days. Always surround yourself with good people and learn. You never want a millionaire. He's not going to hang with somebody who's not making no money. He's going to hang with somebody who's probably making more money than him, because he want to make more. So I hung around those guys because I want to learn. So I tell our youngsters, hang around people who are doing great things, and you will learn from them, and you will move up. You're not going to learn from somebody who's below you. So why you being a follower? Be a leader.
In that same vein, I want to stay right there because one of the takeaways, that you've probably seen as well as myself, working with a lot of youth, we were open to constructive criticism.
Yes, yes,
Now everybody feels like it's called hate.
yeah, yeah.
How do we regenerate what's in us in them and build that relationship where they trust us?
And it's gonna be very hard because we got this social media. You got this. It's hard. It's hard. I can't even go. Only thing I can do right now is hopefully pull the start at the middle school. And that's something that we work with a lot.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a great age to start teaching because once you get to high school, I tell a lot of these parents, hey, once these kids get to high school, it's college. It's all about, hope you know your game, hope you're ready and it's hard to talk to those kids at that level. I work with kids till this day because I go around and I work at the high schools, going to speak to coaches, helping them raise funds and things. These kids are, they feel that they're already here, so we've already lost them at that. I don't want to say lost, but they're hard to kind of communicate at that
Hard to
level.
reach, yeah.
So we have to start with them at that middle school level where their minds are still open to learning and haven't got taunted, haven't got
Yes,
taunted,
sir.
because once they get to high school, it's the college. It's college level.
Right.
Now I hear that college is now going to get ready to pass that. They can start getting paid.
Yes, sir.
So it's actually, almost what like people talking about when I had did an episode for CNN when all those football players get in trouble, and the first thing they asked me, what can we do to these NFL? I said, it's nothing you can tell a grown man who's making millions. It starts or level, middle school level. Because once I tell me what to do, and I'm a grown man, so it's kind of hard. You can't start
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah. So we have to start at a younger level.
I like that, being effective in ministry is starting early because I'm hearing now that kids as early as 2 years old are already formed in their ways. They've gotten personality, you've got to curb that and structure that. So
Yeah.
with that said, I've got one last question and I'm going to let you go. Um, since your playing days, having won a Super Bowl, having done many different things with track and field, you had a successful career as a coach as well, teaching
Yes.
track. Um, with some of the wisdom you gain now, what advice would you now give your younger self?
My younger self, and I would invest in me even more.
Mm,
I was in high school. I dedicated myself to my sports and everything. I dedicated to my education, but I would even dedicate it even more. I say that because these kids have it so easy. We didn't have it that easy when we were, we didn't have all these camps. We didn't have all these
mhm.
back and things like that. So we took it upon ourselves and got with our friends to go do more. So I think I would have even worked even harder on that level. But I would when I made it to the league, I would have invest my money even better in different things. And you think about it, when I was coming out, we didn't really have too many people. My parents didn't know nothing about investing, but these kids these days have so much in front of them. Investing is huge with the real estate. I wish I would have done more of that with my money, because
Mhm.
that's longevity money. Because your career can be cut very short real soon. Which I done played for. You only had 4 years, but I had a plan. I had a plan to know I want to coach when I finish. I want to start my own business when I finish. But I wish I would have done it early in
Earlier.
life and not waited till it was over with. So that's something
Right.
I would invest early on in my career, and I would say I went a little bit harder. I
Yes,
didn't.
sir.
For me, I was very talented, so it came easy to me.
Hmm.
So I would have had. I wish I would have pushed myself just a little bit more. And unfortunately, my career ended because of injury, so I didn't have no control over that. But
Right.
but those I would tell myself I'd have went a little harder. I think too.
Eric, that's some good information. Um, any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Something that we always talk to our kids at our camps. Always like I said earlier, always surround yourself with good people. Um, Work hard at everything you do because you can't never go back. You only can go forward. So work hard that day and better yourself every day. And try to get better. That's all I just say. Try to get better and surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you heard it here first. You heard it here with former Super Bowl winning wide receiver Eric Matthews. I'm still sour that he beat my 49ers, but in real life, I am really appreciative of
Oh,
just the partnership we've had. We've done football camps at Air Force bases and all over the state of Mississippi, but it's been made possible by people like you. So make sure you guys tune in every Saturday, same time, same place, every Saturday in June and July, and bring a child with you. Let's
yes.
get the word out. Y'all have a blessed night.
Salud.
Like we ran 100. We ran 100, and it was like we was like man, that's like the best ever, man.
Okay, just compete. Don't never give up. Once you start giving up, might go ahead and give up the sport. You know, like I said, you always have somebody better than you, but don't never give up. In life, you're gonna always have somebody better than you. You're not always gonna be the best, but you can try to compete to be the best, and that's always gonna make you who you are. Okay, when you start giving up, then that's when you're a quitter. You don't want to be a quitter. You know, I never beat everybody, but that made me better by going after that person who's better. That's all it. That's in life too. Work. You want that CEO job. You might start off at the clerk or the bag boy or whatever. But yeah, you might want to be that CEO one day, so that compete, get to perform as a dishwasher or whatever to move to the next level. I don't care what you do in life, you still have to compete at it. You never give up, because that's how you get to the top. Okay?